talk a little bit about new media. It has a lot of opportunities for our society, but also some risks, and we see some of these risks filtering through. What do you see in terms of risk when it comes to new media to society?
Yes, I think that if you look at the media generally in two pieces, there's the editorial piece, how is the content created, and then there is a business piece, how is the content paid for. And the new technology is fundamentally changing both of those at the same time. And so what you find is but you still need a trusted source that tells people what to care about and what to know. And it doesn't matter what you know if you don't care. Those two things, but people trust brands, not noise. And right now we're having a difficult time because the older brands are having difficulty with their business model and their editorial process, but the new machine hasn't really come up. And I think what we have to do is try to understand how to fix it. And I think it used to be several years ago, it was new media versus old media. I think today we're trying to work together. I fund a lot of new media projects, both through my foundation, the Knight Foundation, and as an individual. I'm also on the New York Times board, and I'm trying to figure out what the future is. We're all working very hard together because this is an essential component of open society, the ability to question authority without fear of retribution. So we have to figure this out, and I think we will because everyone's so focused, but we're having going through a critical moment right now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a perfect storm. So it all comes down to credibility and sourcing. In terms of distinguishing between noise and news, how difficult is it really for anybody in society to decide, yes, this is an opinion leader I can trust?
I think that, I think in fact, Wikipedia may be one of the best news sources. So for instance, after the earthquake in Japan, when the nuclear power plant was blowing up, the Wikipedia page about that was one of the best sources of news because the Wikipedians actually collected news, they had a neutral point of view, there were lots of them working on it, and it was all in one place. And so, in a funny way, Wikipedia, I think, has accidentally become one of the best news sources. And so I think we need to think about that because it has a brand, it has a platform, it has the ability to collect the data, but the values of the Wikipedians are very similar to news people, which is a neutral point of view. Blogs are great at collecting lots of the data as well. And so it's going to be, I think, more like an ecosystem. And also each person consumes news differently. I think the previous generation wanted one news source, they get the answer. The younger generation kind of want to modify and customize their own news. They like points of view. And then the newer generation's all mobile. So I think the other critical thing that's happening is we're having multiple generations with multiple habits using multiple devices, and the problem is it's all splitting up, and also our generation doesn't understand the new generation, but our generation is making the decisions. So you have these older people like us making decisions for the new kids that we don't understand. So it's exciting, but it's a very challenging period.